safe and sound. You've nothing to fear, I won't keep you bound. My love's a strong foundation, built on solid ground. No matter where you run, no matter where you hide, no matter what you've done, my love for you will still abide. You remain the only one, I'll keep a place for you by my side. I want you to be happy, even if it isn't with me. I want you to be happy, so I'll set you free. I want you to be happy, one day I hope you'll see. Real love needs no lock and key. I want you to be happy, it isn't love if you are free. No matter where you run, no matter where you hide, no matter what you've done, my love for you will still abide. You remain the only one, I'll keep a place for you by my side. I don't want you to walk away, but I won't force you to stay. I'd rather you be happy, I'd rather you be free, even if it's without me. Needs no lock and key. I want you to be happy, it isn't love if you aren't free. I'd rather you be free, even if it's without me.
Tempted by your devil's kiss, promising unending bliss, drag me into an abyss. Hypnotized by your eyes, desire you can't disguise, seduced by your lies. Tempted by your devil's kiss, promising unending bliss, drag me into an abyss. What felt so good to start is shattering my heart. Loving you's a dying art. Tempted by a devil's kiss, promising unending bliss, drag me into an abyss. No string sounds fun, loving on the run, till you're the lonely one. Tempted by a devil's kiss, promising unending bliss, drag me into an abyss. My heart is cold as ice, you're my greatest vice, I keep paying the price. I'm addicted to your devil's kiss and you. What do I do? I'm addicted to your devil's kiss and you. What do I do? I know I must break free before I lose the best of me. End this living purgatory. Tempted by a devil's kiss, promising unending bliss, drag me into an abyss. I've got news for you, I'm ready for something new. I know what I've got to do. Oh, 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 oh. You're here for a reason. You're no accident. You're the answer to a problem. You were heaven sent. You're the only one who has what it will take to be that answer. Make no mistake, and I'll tell you now. You're here for a reason. You're no accident. You're the answer to a problem. You were heaven sent. You may be feeling like you're all alone, just a tiny pebble in a world full of stone. But I'll tell you now, you're here for a reason. You're no accident. You're the answer to a problem. You were heaven sent. Deep down inside you, waiting to be free, is the power to save the world in need. But I'll tell you now, you're here for a reason. You're no accident. You're the answer to a problem. You were heaven sent. Oh, 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 oh. Love is the reason you were born that day. Love is the answer, and its light show the way. 'Cause I'll tell you now, you're here for a reason. You're no accident. You're the answer to a problem. You were heaven sent. Here's your friend, don't make it blend. Take the first step, show them why you're friend. You've got a vision great, you've got a mission first rate. It's time to communicate, it's time to relate. Here's your friend, don't make it blend. Take the first step, show them why you're friend. Your brand isn't a logo or a color scheme, no, no. It's not a slogan, you know, a trademark or copyright. Oh, oh, oh. Here's your friend, don't make it blend. Take the first step, show them why you're brand. Your brand is everything people say when they're talking about you. Reputation is king when it comes to branding. Here's your friend, don't make it blend. Take the first step, show them why you're brand. Your brand begins with you, everything you say and do. Sharing your heart is true, will bring customers to you. Build your brand, don't make it blend. Take a first step, show them why you're brand.
And with that, it is time to get started. Woohoo! Welcome, everybody, to our Saturday live stream with writing and chatting, or actually, Together We Write, as we now call it. I am so happy to be with you guys. So happy it is Saturday again. It has been a very productive week for me, but I am very eager to get into something fun. And it's always fun hanging out with you guys. So, having said all of that, I am going to drop into the last chapter we wrote. We'll go over that, and then we'll make some decisions about where we want to go next. Chapter 38, Earl Makes His Move. Earl swore as he touched the skillet's hot handle by accident. He shook out the pain and reached for the pot holders, checking the time as he adjusted the heat. Should be ready right on time, he thought. Fireball, nose in the air, appeared in the doorway. Mew, she said, as if asking what the plan was for dinner. Nothing for you, miss. Your food's right over there, he said, pointing toward the untouched food at the sides of the bowl. She blinked at him and looked at the bowl. Mew. He sighed, walked over to the bowl, and shook it so that all the food returned to the center, then put it back down in front of her. See? Plenty of food. Hey, Mom. She sniffed at it and looked back at him. Mew? He set the bowl down. No, you can't have some. This is for Lauren and me. Mew? Was Fireball's response as she followed him toward the stove. He sighed and picked her up, then brought her into the living room and dropped her on the couch. No, you are not invited to share in that dinner. Fireball stared at the door. Mew. Earl sighed. No, you can't go outside. No, Hawkeye's not back yet. Sorry, girl. She gave him a look that suggested she didn't believe a word he'd said, then began to clean herself as if he no longer existed in her eyes. He shook his head and started to head back to the kitchen when the doorbell rang. He swung it open to find Lauren there, wine bottle in hand. I thought I'd bring something to add to the party. Fireball leapt off the couch and ran in Lauren's direction, rubbing herself against Lauren's legs. Mew! She seems happy to see you, he chuckled. She was complaining about her food a moment earlier. Oh? Lauren asked, reaching down to scratch Fireball behind the ears. She seemed to think she should be included in what we're having for dinner, and didn't seem at all impressed with what's in her bowl, he explained. Lauren shrugged. Can you blame her? Earl laughed. No, I guess I can. I probably wouldn't want to eat what's in that bowl either, and I'm hoping what I'm cooking is a far sight better than what's in that bowl. Lauren grinned. Me too. I'm not sure this wine pairs well with cat food. Earl returned the grin as he grabbed the skillet off the burner and placed it in the center of the table. You got a point there. Lauren looked at his hand when he took off the oven mitt and asked, You burn yourself? Earl nodded. Just a bit. Lauren winked. Want me to kiss it and make it all better? Earl felt his face getting hot at the thought of those lips on his skin. He scrambled to think of something safe to say. He didn't have to, though. Fireball came to his unexpected rescue by jumping up on the table. Lauren shook her head and picked up the cat. I see what you mean by her insisting on being part of the party. She looked at Fireball. You stay out of this, missy. I don't need your help with my date, thank you. She returned Fireball to the front room before walking back to the dining nook. Skillet spaghetti, she asked, referring to the dish on the table. Earl nodded. Something my mom used to make. Figured you might enjoy it. They sat down together and she poured them both a glass of wine. I hope you like the Merlot I got. It's one of my favorites. How's Hawkeye? Earl asked. Back home yet? Earl took a sip of the wine before answering. Her nose crinkled. He's back. I forgot to tell him you wanted to meet with him. Got distracted by what he brought with him. Earl raised an eyebrow. What he brought with him? She nodded. A job offer. For me and a couple of other members of Mortus's stream. From the military, no less. Both of Earl's eyebrows rose. A job offer? You planning to accept? She didn't strike him as the military sort. I don't like the idea. I'm inclined to say no, but I know everyone in our group is hurting for money, and I'm told they want us all or none of us, she admitted. Earl sipped his own wine. What exactly is it they want you to do? I mean, if you're free to tell me. Lauren shrugged one shoulder. I don't know. They haven't explained it. Earl nodded. Then it doesn't hurt to listen and hear him out, does it? Maybe ask for more details. That's what I'd do if it were me. She sighed. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. He could tell she was growing uncomfortable with the conversation, so he switched topics. So how's the band? Toxic Chemical Smoothie, right? Now that Hawkeye's back, you got any gigs lined up? Her face brightened. As a matter of fact, we've got one this weekend. Want to come? He smiled. I do. What time's the gig and where? If I don't have to work, you can count on me being there. She grinned. 7 p.m. at Eastside Park. There's a nice little amphitheater there we play at. Bring your lawn chair and prepare to have me rock your world. Earl raised his glass. I could toast to that. The discussion slowed down as he served them each a hearty helping of the skillet spaghetti. Earl's imagination got the better of him as he watched her eating. She noticed his eyes on her and gave him a grin. This is delicious. Thanks for the dinner. My pleasure, he murmured. Happy to be of service. Speaking of service, should I call Hawkeye and let him know where to pick up Fireball? She asked. I can bring her with me to the office if that's easier for him, Earl offered. Lauren nodded. I think he'd appreciate that. She pulled out her phone and sent a text message, then tucked it back into her purse. I've let him know. I'll let you know what he says. He's still recovering from that ordeal, but I think having Fireball back would help him heal. Might help my couch heal too, Earl quipped. She's been using it as a scratching post since she got here. They lapsed back into a momentary silence as they went back to eating. Earl searched for something meaningful to say, but he wasn't a man who was big on words. He preferred action, and the actions on his mind weren't exactly polite conversation. All right, so that's where we left off. Now the question is today, where do we want the story to go? Whose point of view are we working through today? Whose chapter steals the show? We give you more Lauren and Earl, more Mortus and Mike and Hawkeye. We can get more Delilah and gosh, Seymour. How could I forget? Dealer's choice you're eating. What are you eating, sir? I'm interrogating you. Or we can do Holston and DeVries and Jacobs. So those are our choices. I'll give you all a little bit of time to make a decision. Earl is secretly an aging and dysfunctional guitar tuber. No, Bill, that's everybody else. That's Mortus, Seymour, and Hawkeye. Lauren is, she's the vocalist for the band that Hawkeye is. She and Hawkeye are in a band called Toxic Chemical Smoothie. They're the only two on the YouTube channel that actually live in the same town. Yeah, actually, Earl is romantically exploring a romantic attachment to Lauren. They aren't a thing yet, but they are definitely exploring it. All right, so we got one vote for Mortus, Mike, and Hawkeye. Now, just to catch anybody who's unfamiliar with the plot up to speed, Tolston, DeVries, and Jacobs. Tolston and DeVries are the bad guys, so to speak, and Jacobs has them in captivity. Oh, 2 votes. It's Mortus, Mike, and Hawkeye. All right, so being that, as it is, I will end that poll. No worry, Pookie. Come on in, the weather's warm. Earl is somebody that she met because of Hawkeye's disappearance. So, you haven't been part of the story, Mom, so we'll catch you up to speed just a little bit. Here's the deal. So at the very beginning of the book, Hawkeye, the stream was being told, hey, Bill, I'm always glad to see you. Appreciate you stopping in, even if you can't stay. If you can stay, that's great too. So, you at the beginning of the story, it's Mortus's stream, and this is how everybody's connected. Mortus is the connection for everybody because it was his stream. Lauren is part of the streamers that hang out with Mortus. Hawkeye is part of the streamers that hang out with Mortus. So is Seymour. Hawkeye was missing, so Lauren, Mortus, and Seymour underwent an investigation to figure out where Hawkeye was. They figured it out. They got him back. Lauren called the detectives in her town. She is the only one who lives in the same town as Hawkeye. Lauren called the detective in town, Detective Earl E. Mann, who is now, they're like kind of dating, so, or at least this is a first date, so that semi-catches you up to speed in a nutshell. And so the two votes today were Mortus, Mike, and Hawkeye. Let's see where they left off. Let's see. Chapter 35 is the last place we had them, so I'll read through that just so you're caught up to speed. I'm sorry, Mortus, we can't do that, Mike said when Mortus finally got him back on the phone. You can't, or you won't, Mortus demanded. We can't restore his service record right now. We need the other side to believe that he's on the outs with us for this to work, Mike explained. If we restore his service record, it's going to trigger all kinds of red flags in the system, and those red flags can give our targets a heads up we don't need them to have. Mortus could see his point, but he understood that wasn't going to fly with Hawkeye. There's got to be a way, man. He's not going to budge without that guarantee. Mike blew out a long breath. Look, here's what I can do. I can't purge his service record right now, but I can give him a contract with a promise. If he does this for us, if he serves this country despite an active mark of disgrace on his record, we'll guarantee his record gets restored the moment the mission is over. Mortus could feel his stomach clench. Would that be good enough for Hawkeye? How will he be sure you're going to keep your word? You've messed him around before. It's going to sound like you're just messing him around with him again. Mike held up his right hand and put his left over his heart. I'll put it in writing. I'll make sure he has a document that guarantees this. Mortus shook his head. That's not good enough. What else are you willing to offer? Mike crossed his arms. We'll give everyone half up front. That's the best I can do. Mortus frowned. That might be enough. I'll ask. I'm not guaranteeing anything, though. Mike looked at him. Consider it a good faith payment. We're willing to risk an upfront investment in him and the rest of your team to get you all on board. It's that important to us. Mortus tapped his fingers on the table, thinking. The money's not the issue, Major. Honor is his issue. He wants back what you took from him. Mike stared at the ceiling for a moment. I know we allowed him to go through a lot. It may seem to him like it was for nothing, but I promise you we had to. It was the only way to get to the truth. Mortus pursed his lips. You don't owe me an explanation. You owe it to him. I didn't strip him of everything and leave him homeless and with nowhere to go. You guys did that to him. Mike leaned forward and banged his fist on the table. You think I don't know that? There were people fighting for him, but in the end it wasn't up to us. The mission was more important than one man, no matter how good. Mortus stared at Mike. Tell that to the man you left hanging in the wind. Mike winced. Fair enough. Set up a face-to-face meeting with Hawkeye. He deserves to know the truth. The whole truth. He can make his decision after that. Mortus nodded. Damn straight he does. I think the truth is the one thing that might persuade him. How about we FaceTime him together, Mortus suggested. Mike grabbed a tablet from his desk. You think he'll agree? Mortus grinned. He will if you promise to record the entire meeting and give me a copy. If you betray his trust. If you lie to him, I will leak that recording to the press faster than you can say guitar lick. Mike looked Mortus dead in the face. Done. Get him on here and hit that record button. Alright, so here's how that went. Chapter 37, A Meeting of the Minds. No, I'm not doing it, Hawkeye said the moment Mike told him the government wouldn't be expunging his record. Mortus held up a hand. Hear him out. I think you deserve to know the full story. Hawkeye glared at Mortus and crossed his arms over his chest. Et tu, Brute? Mortus winced. I'm not selling you out, man. You should know me better than that. Trust me. Hawkeye frowned. I did, but you know what this means to me. Mike cut through. He does. That's why he asked me to give you the full story and to record the entire meeting so you have evidence if you need it that backs you up. Hawkeye shook his head. Video evidence doesn't mean dick anymore with AI. Anyone can say I faked it. Mortus glanced over at Mike. He's got a point, man. You're gonna need better than just video evidence to persuade him. Mike grimaced. Darn. Sometimes I hate tech. Even if I put things in writing, people can still accuse you of forging it using AI. Hawkeye's shoulders relaxed a bit. At least you aren't bullshitting me with promises you can't keep. That's a start. He looked over at Mortus. Go ahead, start recording. At least it'll give me something. Mortus hit a button. The red light came on, letting Hawkeye know it was being recorded. Then Mike started speaking. The story was painful for Hawkeye to hear, but validating at the same time. We suspected DeVries from the beginning, but the proof he provided of your involvement left us little choice but to strip you of rank and mark you as dishonorably discharged, Mike started. However, there were too many holes in DeVries' story for us to be content with it. Your discharge and those who vouched for you marked the beginning of an ongoing investigation that we've been conducting in secret for the last 30 years. Hawkeye stared, disbelieving as he heard the remainder. We couldn't involve you in the process. We couldn't prove you weren't guilty yet. Had we involved you, it would have contaminated the findings. Then Mike said the words that he needed to hear. We heard rumors that the CIA was involved somehow and that they were going to kidnap you, so we embedded Jacobs in the unit to investigate. He was funneling us information so we could extract you if things got too dicey. Hawkeye leaned forward. You let them kidnap me? You didn't warn me? Mike held up his hands. I know how it sounds. Couldn't act on the information we'd gotten without tipping them off. And trust me, this operation that took you is attached to something much larger and more dangerous than you realize. We couldn't take that risk without putting countless lives at risk. Hawkeye stared at Mike. How far does this thing go? Mike's face said it all. Even we aren't entirely sure. It seems to be a global operation. We're not even sure who's running the whole thing. The threads seem to wind their way through every government in some way or another. Hawkeye wondered aloud, what's at stake if you don't stop them? Why does it matter? Mike didn't miss a beat. This organization believes the world needs to be purged of about 90% of its human population. That's a mission they are more than willing to dedicate their time, money, and resources to completing. And they're patient, resilient, and determined. Hawkeye swallowed. 90% of the population? How? Why? Mike shrugged. They believe humanity is a blight on the earth, and they're willing to employ whatever means are necessary. Bioweapons, directed energy weapons, targeted genetic attacks, to accomplish their goals. Hawkeye thought about that. So you're telling me that if I refuse to help you, billions of people around the globe could die? Mike nodded. Not could. Will. The question is not if, it's when. We need you. We need them to think you're still on the outside of the military so they won't suspect you're working with us. Hawkeye's eyes narrowed. Can you prove that? Can you prove to me it's global, or are you just yanking my chain? Mike's shoulders stiffened a bit before relaxing again. I can provide evidence, but you'll have to meet with me in person to get it. Are you willing? Hawkeye nodded. Mike continued, and you can't take any of what I share with you outside the room where we meet. It stays with me until the operation's over. We can't risk it getting into the wrong hands. Hawkeye leaned forward. I understand. If you can prove it to me, I'll do this. Even if nobody ever believes me, it's worth it. I laid down my life to serve my country once. This is bigger than that. Mike seemed relieved. I'll send you directions to our headquarters and a badge to get you through the doors. Mortus interrupted. I'd like to see that evidence myself, Mike, if you don't mind including me. Mike glanced over at Mortus. If that's what it takes, why don't we bring in your whole team? Let them see what they're getting themselves into, and, just as importantly, why it matters now more than ever. All right, so that is the whole thing in a nutshell between Mike, Mortis, and Hawkeye. And so now we're about ready. We just finished the date, Lauren and Earl, and now we're ready for everybody to get back together to meet with Mike in that room to discover what evidence awaits them. All right. Let's call it chain of evidence. Now, let's all come together and put on our tinfoil hats and ask ourselves, what kind of evidence have they uncovered? And who all's involved? Let's see. Now, what we decide here determines. Up until now, it's been a drama fest. We could turn this into a massive comedy and risk losing readers. But they'd never expect it. It'd be the spaghetti conspiracy. Italian pasta makers all over the world running a mafia style operation. Contaminated pasta. I'm open to any and all suggestions. Just type them in chat. We'll find a way to work them in. Go crazy. Ooh, alright, we could do that. Well, see, Lauren wasn't in that room. Lauren wasn't in there with Mike, Mortis, and Hawkeye. She was over at Detective Early Man. But we can switch things. Oh, yeah. Oh, that might not be a bad idea to have it be from Hawkeye's perspective. Hey, Aaron. Good to see you. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you so much. Well, he doesn't know what's going on. He doesn't know where the noise came from. I mean, there's no guarantee that this muffled sound was somebody. I don't know, autocorrect maybe. We'll just say that. How many little Debbies you had today, but then again, Aaron could have popped in and I didn't see it. That's true, because I was assuming when you said hi, Aaron, that you'd seen him and I hadn't. Let's see. Well, there you have it. Just haven't shaken the oath. Haven't had any. You did just wake up from a nap not too long ago. Oh no. No little Debbies yet? Oh, that's a shame. What is your favorite little Debbie? Did we ever assign Mike a last name? Maybe we did, maybe we didn't. Somewhere along the line I've lost track of that. Let's see. Let's wear first time Mike Daniels. Okay. We got a lot of Daniels. Swiss rolls. Those are good. Zebra cakes are mine. I used to have this terrible habit of going to the grocery store. We didn't have a grocery store. Sorry, going to the gas station like that was a couple blocks from where we lived. And every time I would pick out this box of zebra cakes. Stupid little box. That is a bad habit. It's a guaranteed path to diabetes. And I did not need that. Fortunately, I've kicked the little Debbie's habit. A virus. Let's look up a typical virus warning. Let's see. Well, I guess that's a good question to see whether or not he's tech savvy, because most of those are genuinely scams. Let's see. There we go. That's a good one. All right. There we go. All right. So then we get a decision. Oh, you want the warning to come just as he returns to his computer? Okay. We can do that. All right, so he's running a search. He hasn't even opened his meeting email yet. Oh, let's see what we're going to do. What's up next, y'all? Was there somebody outside the door? Or does he find something unusual when he finishes scanning? I need ideas, people. Give me ideas. Hmm. That's okay, me too. Do, 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 do. It is odd, though, that somebody would make the ability to turn his doorknob and yet get away without being detected when he opened the door. Not like even a footprint or anything. I know, right? Yes. Yeah. Oh, nice. Oh no, Pookie, it's got a badge and an address. Nope, we should put a time and a date. See. That's better. All right, let's see what we got going on. Yep, looks like we got pretty well close to the end of this chapter. Okay, so we'll read through it. Chapter 39. A delivery. A deliver? No, a delivery. As the call ended, Hawkeye heard a muffled sound outside his door. But when he opened it, there was no one there. His eyes narrowed. The timing seemed a little too coincidental to him. He took a long look down the street, both sides, before closing it and heading back inside. He got a text message from Lauren at that moment. Detective Mann's got Fireball. He's offering to let you pick her up at the station. When's a good time? Hawkeye frowned. As much as he missed his cat, now is not a good time for Fireball to be there. Not sure. I'll let you know. He inspected the streets one more time before shutting the door. Something in his gut was screaming that there was something very wrong. He'd already been kidnapped once. He didn't want it happening again. Blah! He frowned and returned to his computer. Sitting down to check the email, he noticed a header from Major Mike Daniels with a subject line, "Confidential. Your meeting is scheduled." As he started to open the email, a notification popped up on his screen. "Warning, your computer may be affected." He read through the rest of the contents and wondered if he should be genuinely alarmed or if this was an actual threat. Again, another instance of suspicious timing. He copied down the warning and did a quick browser search of the exact wording. "Stupid scammers," he said, frowning. There was likely some kind of malware he'd managed to download onto his system. Irritated, he began to run his antivirus software, scanning his files and making sure to get them cleaned up. That'll be 30 minutes of wasted time. He wanted to do some research on Major Daniels, but couldn't until the virus scan was done. Who was this guy? Was he for real? Mortus seemed to know and trust the man, but that didn't mean Hawkeye did. And how serious was this threat? What kind of global operation was this? Why hadn't he ever heard about it on the news outlets? 90% of the global population was 7.2 billion people. Why did this organization want to get rid of so many people? Weren't most of them rich jerks? Who were they going to get to do their laundry and cook for them if they got rid of so many people? He heard another muffled sound outside his door, and this time a slight turn of his doorknob. He stood up and moved in silence toward his bedroom, where he had a gun in the top of the nightstand. Sliding the gun out of the top drawer, he checked to be sure it was loaded before heading back to the front room. He wasn't about to get himself kidnapped a second time. He opened the door slowly and peered out. This time, there was a plain brown envelope outside the door. Inside the envelope was a badge, an address, a time, and a date. Hawkeye relaxed. Seemed a bit of overkill to do it that way, but he could appreciate the cloak and dagger. After all, you never knew whose eyes might be watching. As he thought that, a beam of light caught his eye. He looked up and suddenly the origin of the envelope made more sense to him. He caught a glimpse of a drone-shaped object hovering above his house right before it zipped out of sight. Drone deliveries? He supposed it made sense. Cheaper and less detectable than paying a person to deliver it. He walked back inside and returned the gun to the nightstand, grateful that he'd not needed to use it. Never, ever purchase a gun if you're not fully prepared to shoot to kill, his father warned him back when he received his first one. You're going to have to live with the consequences of taking another human life, regardless of how well-deserved that shot may be. So don't buy it if you're not ready for that. His stint in the military made him far more comfortable using guns, but he'd never forgotten his father's warning. And he did his best not to reach for that gun unless he thought it was strictly necessary to protect his life or the life of someone he loved. His hands shook slightly with adrenaline he'd felt as he opened that door. He was glad it was a drone. At least if he shot that little thing, it wouldn't be taking someone's life. There we go. Oh, it stopped letting you input? Oh, that's okay. We'll add your input as the end of the stream comes to a close. Well, actually, it's not really practical for the envelope to give him 20 minutes to meeting time. He's going to have to travel to Mike's location, and he lives in a tiny town on the outskirts of nowhere. So it's going to be a minimum 3-hour drive for him to get to a location where he could view the evidence. So we'll leave this that way. Good idea, but logistics wise, it wouldn't work. All right, so we are going to call that the end of the stream. I want to thank everybody for coming in, everybody for participating, and everybody who lurked. You're all welcome here. You're all part of the show, and I appreciate every single person who does come. I am looking forward to talking with you more. We will be doing more of the Artful Audience Monday at 6:30 p.m. We will do Real Talk next week on Thursday, just like usual. But I'm going to bump it down to 7 p.m. Central because it seems that that's when most people actually start showing up. And since I love having more of you there than none of you, I'm going to adjust my time to accordingly. So be watching for those. I'll be posting those soon. Thanks again for watching.